Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I have a great deck for you known as Pass Go. Maybe you'll figure it out here, but before we do so, just want to say thank you as always. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. You can like me on Facebook. You can like the video. You can also follow me on Twitter and Twitch to stay up to date on content like this. So, what is the Pass Go deck that I am talking about? Well, for starters, this is another brew for us today by yours truly, Mythras. Let's go ahead and take a look. I wanted to do a Simic Flash deck. So going back to my roots, for starters. Second, a lot has changed in the meta recently for best of one and best of three, obviously because of the bannings. And additionally, we're starting to see more of that influx, as I mentioned yesterday, in our Simic ramp deck video around more viability on the late game. So I've seen a lot of people going around saying, oh, I don't like Ugin, I don't like these things. So I wanted to provide you a good option in terms of countering the Simic deck, ramp deck, and the Sultai ramp deck as well. We know that those are very, very heavy in terms of kill spells, additionally on the ramp side, and then lastly the Ugin. Now, we know that if we can evade the Ugin, it's going to be really a non-issue. So today, this brew is all about those things, and I'll talk through it a little bit here. But first off, let's go ahead and take a look at this list. It is available for you down below in the description, and you'll have access to play it right away. So a couple callouts here. I'm running 24 lands. A lot of people like to run 26. I'm going to do this for both best of one and best of three for you today. Now, the key premise of this deck for me was twofold: conquering BO1, best of one and best of three, and really being able to have a well-developed sideboard for key considerations that we'll get to in a minute. Now, when I went through and developed the main board, my whole idea was, let's get to turn 4, get rewind down, and drop in a night pack. Or if we have to double counter, we got the ability to do so. I wanted to keep Spectral Sailor here for draw. Additionally, on the trigger of Lofty Denial, we have very good protection up front on our turn 2. Now, the importance here is I did not go narrow. So I left my opponent out by being able to pay to get out. But I also, unless we have Spectral Sailor on the board, Lofty Denial is pretty much going to be golden. I did this because I did not want to go down the negate path or essence to essentially be narrow in terms of creatures or non-creature spells. This leaves us a little bit more open-ended, which is going to be important early game and potentially against non-ramp decks that are could give us a little bit more problems early game. Additionally, I kept Brineborn Cutthroat here. So two things with Brineborn: it does evade some of the black kill spells. I'm specifically targeting the one where no counters or remove 3 counters, so this can be a added trick for us here with this card. I thought that would be pretty important. Then additionally, another body up front against some of the aggro decks. Now ultimately, we have a little bit higher in our mid-tier control. We got our Mystical Dispute and Sinister Sabotage, good against any of the ramp decks. Brazen Borrower here again is with some focus, I'll say, in terms of aggro on the delay. Additionally, this gives us an option if our opponents do play something that we do not like, so we can return that permanent back to their hand, buy us a turn, and hopefully have some sort of counter or something else that we can leverage. Now, again, Rewind is a key card. This was a huge M21 ad for us. The ability to play Rewind and then follow up with Night Pack Ambusher is golden. We are not trying, this is really about trying to leverage card for card and the ability to gain an advantage on your opponent at some point in the game. Once you control that, then there's nothing that they're going to be able to do, most likely, to come back. If we are sitting on enough counters, enough play to help us with our opponents. Now, the last one we have here is Frilled Mystic. Frilled is awesome. A good pairing with this could be Baron. I did not put that in here where you put Baron in, you can bounce a creature, you get a draw, or you can bounce an opponent's as well. I wanted to keep this a little bit tighter. That could be a consideration instead of Brazen Borrower. you could play that card and drop the flyer. So that's one thing that I was debating, but he is legendary, I believe, so that could give us a... actually, let's go look at him real quick here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Because I think this is an important consideration. So we got Baron, the Tolarian Archmage here. So enters, return up to one other target creature or planeswalker to its opponent's hand. And at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was returned into our hand, we get to draw a card. So this is pretty big. Now, the reason why I did not go down this path, giving up the draw for my Brazen, is the fact that we can return target non-land permanents. So just in case we run into some issues against some other decks with enchantments or something like that that we need to get around, or a god or other things, I wanted to make sure that we had this as our option. All right, so again, realistically, we can very well win without Night Pack. We can do a slow beat down. Getting Brineborn out and protecting Brineborn is also a great way to close a match. All right, so that's the main board for best of one. A couple considerations here now for best of three. So the big callouts here is, as you know, I talked about this the last couple of videos, Aether Gust. So this is a great sideboard card here. Rationale, again, red or green. So mono red, mono green, Gruul, as well as any of the ramp decks, Grixis, sack decks, those kinds of things. So what this is going to do is it's great in counter magic against a similar deck. It's great against the ramp decks. The ability to push something back into our opponent's library and buy us a turn is going to be huge in case we need to buy time for a counter. Next, we have Narset's Reversal. So this was a big one. I can't remember who it was that had provided a point of view on this one, and thank you very much, because this here is specific to Sultai. So in the best of three, they're going to sideboard in the 6 mana card that's going to shoot to wipe our hand and all the spells in our hand. This here allows us to push that card back into their hand, and then we exile their card. So much better option here. This is a very, very important card that we'll be able to play and leverage in best of three. It is specifically there for this card. Now, you could play it for a number of other things, particularly, and again, this is good for Clover. You could play this against a Clover deck or something like that if you wanted to. Lots of other options. You could play this against Izzet. You could play this against a ramp deck, those kinds of things as well. So next we have Tail's End. So this one is very important. My thought process here, and I'll get into it with Sublime Epiphany as well, is one, this gives us a hard counter on legendaries. So this is going to be any of the planeswalkers and other things, but additionally the ability to counter target activated ability or triggered ability. So what's always funny is when you can shut down a Fabled Passage with this card. Don't necessarily expect that, but the real reason why I put this in here was to shut down Hydroid Crisis. My concern when I was originally talking about the 1-for-1 trade on the card is if we lose control and our opponents get more draw or more cards on us, then that's really going to be a problem for us and potentially shift the game. This will also counter, as I mentioned with the Planeswalkers, that will shut down Ugin. It will also shut down Nissa, and it will shut down Euro as well. So lots of good options there. Again, thinking late game, longer term match, we're definitely going to want to have this in, because if we just counter Hydroid, it's not going to be quite good enough. Next, we have Euro, Titan of Nature, Nature's Wrath. The consideration here for me was playing aggro. So putting this in against a mono red, Mardu Knights deck, mono black, other very explosive decks like a Boros Knights or even a Boros Pawblade kind of deck. That's why I have this here. Additionally, it can give us some additional draw and life gain, which is going to be very important. Next, we have Nissa. Similar story again. I put this in here not necessarily for late game, but against aggro decks, the ability to hold up our lands as an additional threat and also make some of our counters more viable options as well. Then we have Sublime Epiphany. So similar to Tail's End, this card allows us to counter Hydroid, allows us to counter the activated or triggered ability, and then do a whole bunch of other things that are going to be really important. This to me, again, is a mirror match. It is also going to be the ramp deck plays with Hydroid Krasis, those kinds of things. And additionally, if you do play some of those decks, this gives you another good late game option if you would like. You could consider pulling in Euro as well for a ramp, but you're going to give up that ability and hold on the counter. So those are some big considerations. Next, we have Hydroid Krasis. As I mentioned, I would play this against an aggro deck primarily to get that life gain back. So that is, in my opinion, when you're shocking yourselves, this can be a downfall of the Pass-Go deck. You can end up running into that slow ability, and Hydroid gives us a chance to recover on the board. So that's kind of how I think through those things. Additionally, Hydroid might be a good option for you against any of those other late game decks if you wanted. The problem is, again, we lose that viability in trying to control the board. The moment that we bring in Euro, Nissa, or Hydroid, we lose that pass go. We got to play on that pass that we were talking about. So big considerations. I'm very excited to pilot this deck for you today. As I said, the whole premise is really around some of these late game type decks. We've got considerations in place for best of one as well as best of three to play in the more aggro atmosphere as well. So we'll just have to see what we're going to hit today. Now, quickly here, again, a big piece that I know many of you always ask me about is how do we sideboard? So again, the way I kind of bucket these things would be these 7 here plus Sublime potentially, and then kind of these ones here minus Sublime in terms of late game, early game, aggro, and then color considerations. And then what I would do is I would look to potentially break down either in the counter space here, or sacrifice a little bit more on the late game, or potentially pull Brazen Borrower out as well. So lots of good options there. I would not touch, in particular on this one, I would not necessarily touch the mana base. 24 is a healthy number. I've ran Simic Flash at 22 before in the past, especially in best of one. However, it's very easy to miss on the double color drop that you may need, or the doubling up. So we want to make sure that we have enough lands and we're getting that 2 to 3 lands hand start, or if we're on the play, making sure, because we want to absolutely get to 4. This deck is very laser focused in terms of achieving its mana curve here, and we want to make sure that we absolutely do that as well. So there you have it, Planeswalkers. Questions, comments, let me know down below. Deck list down below. Hopefully you find this helpful. Very excited to play this for you today. And yes, we are going to go play it in competitive. So in the top 500 right now. So let's go see how we hold up. I know a lot of the top end has recently again been sultai and ramp decks and some form of control as well. So hopefully we hit it there. So let's go to our standard ranked. Absolutely check out the Simic ramp deck that I posted. I think people will really enjoy it. All right, Planeswalkers, here we go. If you got questions, again, please let me know. Additionally, don't forget, I appreciate your support, your feedback. Feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. You can like the video, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. So here is an absolute mess of a hand for us to start. Not what I want as a Simic Flash player, because we do not have good lands. So we will go ahead and take our mulligan. This is much better. We do have the ability to get 3. The debate that I have here is, do I keep Brazen or do I go with the Quench? I'm not going to drop to 2 lands here. I could. That would be a big risk. The other thing that I could cut, because I do have the Quench, is I could cut the Frilled Mystic as well. And this would give me a few turns with Brineborn, and we're not going to have to worry about the land drops. So I'm actually going to do that. I think after talking through it, that's going to be the best route. We got plenty of counters, and we don't need necessarily need frilled, so we'll go with it from here. All right, so we have at least orzhov. So it is a life gain deck here. So I could let this hit and deal with the flyer later. We have counters, so they have to gain the life. I think I'll let it resolve. And now I got my body. And at this point in the game, we also have Brazen Borrower if we need. And now we just need to get to our 4th land drop. Again, the importance of the land drops. Good news is we have plenty of counters here. So I will go Sinister. So the reason why I put Sinister in this deck was to ensure that I get a chance to look at my deck. There's our land, my friends. I'm gonna let them make their flyer. And let's see if I can get away with this. There we go. Perfect. Boom. Well played. Gunther is down, and we are under the 500s into 400s with Simic Flash, my friends. Simic Flash. So I like to see an opening, and I like to take it down in the meta. All right, here we go. On to match number 2 here with our Simic Flash deck. And on top of that, I was wanted to make sure we played one more here after post bannings with Flash before getting you guys the tier list. All right, JM23. So we got our opponents going first. We don't have the mana base that I want. The good news is we have a Fabled Passage, and we're on the draw. This is a tough keep for me because we have all our higher end stuff, but if we get there, we'll be fine. I might try it. It is risky against this deck. Not a good choice. Not a good choice against mono red. And we are absolutely not hitting lands. Ugh. The odds are currently not in favor either. And they are stacked. Absolutely stacked. Hmm. I feel like I pop Spectral in, it's going to be a waste. But I need to block on the runaway because I don't want him to get ahead here. No, that works. And that, my friends, is one of the reasons why this is tough. We ran a good one. First match, mono red is a very bad matchup for this, and we got screwed on the lands, but it happens. That was 3 draws, 1, 2, yeah. Enough draws where it was not beneficial in terms of the land drops. If we could have maybe got to 4, I mean, let's see what they play here. But we would have had Night Pack down, and Night Pack could have, yeah, but wouldn't have saved us against Torbran here. And they have plenty of stuff here anyway. So I'll make him crack his runaway. He's still got lethal. Bomber, but can't run good all the time. Mono red is still an efficient best of 1 deck. Absolutely. Alright, on to our next match. Good news is, those were pretty quick. I spent more time talking, I think, and talking about the deck. Back into the 600s. See, the falling is so much worse, but that is why we love this game, my friends, isn't it? Alright, so here's what we've all been waiting for, traditional standard ranked, and let's hop into a best of 3 match. So in that case, what would I have sideboarded in? I would have brought in Aethergust, I would have brought in Euro, I would have brought in Nissa, I would have started dropping some of the other stuff. Alright, Egg with our Simic Flash deck, and I will play first. So this is fine, even though we have no green. They're going to think we're mono blue or something. The brine board on the board early is going to help us, though. Absolutely. Very looking forward to the best of 3 match. All right. There it is. There it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them my counters. I'll let them play around it. So I think the right one's probably Quench. Yep. But now we have some good options. And this is how we begin to shut our opponents down. If I can get to 5, I can at least get Brazen on the board. Now they can kill Brian here if they have instant. That's the trick. They got to get the double cast off. But if they do that, then I'm going to push Brazen in because I'll still get my rewind. Oh, I'm still going to get my rewind. So that's big. And now we can go Spectral into Lofty if we need. Now we can decide what we want to do. A Brazen Flash in gives us game. Unless he can kill something, he or she. Take the risk. So we're at 6 between the two. That's still going to be okay for us, potentially. We're still sitting good. He's going to block on the brine. Now he can bring Euro back. He'll get 5. And what's funny is, at this point, we haven't played enough green. So we will have a chance to do something a little bit different. Actually, that's not what I want. Because I can flash in, and that should be lethal. Now I'm just being mean. Oh, there's my flows. All right, off to a very nice start. So we got a sultai ramp deck. So how do we want to play this? We know that they're going to have some higher end stuff, and they're probably going to do exactly what I said in terms of boarding here. So we are going to want the Narset's reversal. We'll take the risk on that. We can play Tail's End. I'm going to drop out 2 Lofties. I'm going to pull out 1 Brazen, and I'm going to go Sublime. And I may drop one night pack here. Then I'll go another Sublime. Now we need to decide. I think Aether Gust is a good choice as well. It's going to hurt Euro. I don't know. I might leave that out. I like reversal. Yeah, let's do that. So we put in reversal in to shut down the 6 mana one that can screw us up, and then we also have Sublime Epiphany to help do that. Additionally, stop on any triggers. We could go Tail's End as well, which is something I'm debating. But we did not see Hydroid. Probably have it. So we'll go with this for now. If I need to switch up Aether Gust, Tail's End in the next turn, I will. And we can try that. Alright. Now, the other one that we could have put in here was Theros Beyond Death, the counter spell or draw dig one. That one's very strong in this deck too. I just made it a little bit more narrow again. Oh, shoot. I will keep this. So unfortunately, we're going to do this first. And again, they never saw green. So we still have maybe some potential here. I will let him hit the Spectral if he wants. Oh, I will give him the draw. This one I will not give him. I will give him a Euro. Going to expect a kill on Brineborn. There you go. Is just fine. So now we're at 4. So it is a draw game at this point. I'll take the draw. Now we are getting hammered on lands this game. Now we gotta make them think that we have a counter still. So we still have our scries. There we go. 3, 4, 5. Still have our scries. Shark Typhoon is definitely saving them. I'm going to take this one off because I don't want to give them Narset. They might have a counter, but... So if we can get Night Pack down and get a counter, it's gonna be close. Now I could have, there we go. There's something. I could have. Going to do. That's what I wanted to do. So we don't have a hard counter, which is what we need. So that's good. They don't have an answer, so they either top decked it. And it's all even, unfortunately. So let's look and see what we got going on here. So with double counters, what I don't need right now. I need a hard counter. So I will have to counter here, because I don't want to give it a draw. There's that. I will actually keep the Spectral. There you go. There's your counter. So they're going to get free ramp. They're going to get free draw. They're going to get a lot of free good stuff. I'm going to flash this in. Perfect. I didn't have enough to counter anyway.
Keep an open mind.
Oh, bummer. That is a bummer. None of those are going to do anything. So I'm going to make them play it out here for one reason. I want to see what else they sideboarded. So we will switch a few things up here.
Hone your prowess.
Now, the other trick there is I could have done that on the stack. So, let's keep going. I don't think they're going to play a bunch, but we can try to see what else they'll play. So, in this case, we may want to switch and put a hero in now. The Flying Shark is a good consideration, always, too. So this is the Sultai Narset control that is actually #1 right now, if I recall. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. I want to see what this thing runs. Was it Hydroid, but it didn't come out. Sideboard. Okay. So we're gonna mix this up again. Brazen's helpful on the shark. That was it, though. I don't think we do that. I think we go here. I think we go there. We didn't need Narset's reversal. We didn't see Hydroid. I'm going to pop Epiphany out. I'm going to drop Narsets. I'm going to go 1 Nissa. And then I'm going to go on the counter side. Maybe a little heavier. Lofty Denial again. And then, actually, let's go 2 Rewinds, and we'll go Tail's End. There, bump up that just a little bit. And we'll drop 1 Spectral and go 2 Nissa. And then maybe 2 and go 1 Hydroid. There we go. There we go. Let's do that. I like that better. All right. Switching her up quite a bit here for best of 3. Always like to rejuggle. We are first this time. Here we go. It's going to look like a completely different deck. Problem is if they do hit and see my hand, but we're gonna go a different route. Good matches. Really, really enjoying the play. It's a big match for them. If they break, they win, they'll be probably mid-3s. My win will be back in under 600. So this is big. And they will absolutely be thinking, what the heck? This is the one reason why I do like best of 3. The game really change this. Ideally, that's what I wanted. That is what I wanted. Give me a land. Oh, I needed that land. Oh. Because then I could have dropped Nissa without something uncounterable. And I know that they don't really have a lot, so I'm gonna zip it here. If they're short of land too, be good feeling. It would be a good feeling. And I'm also filling graveyard. All right, no land. Well, we'll make a play. I'm gonna try for it. Oh, they have a counter. There it is. That's off. Question is, do they have two? Maybe. I'm gonna push it. There we go.
Power surges through these lands. Behold, nature's true power.
So, real good news right now. So we have both draw. We have a lot of good stuff right now. So we can do a few different things. So I have 4/7, so I don't have enough to draw, but I can double counter. And we're almost there. They can still exile though. So here's our 4. So we have 9.
The land fights for us.
They got a shark. And now we can go through. And get another draw. So they need to have a land, and they need to have. Otherwise, we got it. And that would be one heck of a top deck, and that's what it looks like. Wow. Wow, look at that top deck. That is definitely something else.
Harness the elements.
They had a chance. Very good game, my friend. Very, very good game. You would hate to find out that I brewed that just for your deck. Hey, look at that, 370. Look at that. Went way better, up 300. That's impressive. So very excited about that, you guys. My Simic Flash deck for you right there. Walked through best of 1 options, best of 3 sideboard. I would say after that game, we did a pretty nice job talking through how to sideboard. So let's go ahead and take a look at this deck again. Great matches. Won the first one, lost the second to that mono red deck in best of 1. And then took down, so it was Orzhov lifegain, BO1 win, mono red loss in BO1, and then a nice healthy win in best of 3 against so not a sultai ramp like I originally said, a sultai narset control, which was actually just piloted as one of the number 1 decks. So very happy with these results. This deck worked out just fine, played exactly the way that we had talked through it. Short and late game, our ability to shift up on the deck and make those adjustments on the fly were pretty sweet. It was like playing 3 different decks. Mono blue, a Simic more control for ramp, and then a huge shift into a heavier creature-based ramp deck kind of a deal. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. Great matches all around. Very happy with these results. And look at that, in the top 300 again for the season. So very exciting, Planeswalkers. You stay safe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down over there. Hope you guys enjoyed the matches. Feedback always much appreciated. Please feel free to like the video. Also feel free to like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on hot content like this for you. So very much success. Enjoyed the deck. Hope you guys did as well. And hey, we're back top 300 Planeswalkers. Mythras out. We'll see you again soon, Planeswalkers.